Hello, Dr. Rhoda here from Five to Thrive. I'm an educational psychologist, and like so many others, I'm working remotely from home. I'm a dean and a professor at a college here in Wisconsin, and we have moved all of our education and all of our support services to an online remote environment. So I'm working from home. Our governor has issued a safer at home order. We're really not supposed to leave our home unless it's for something essential. So I'm going on day 6 of isolation. And I have a lot of tips. Now, I'm an educational psychologist. I have a lot of tips, a lot of strategies for how to manage my mind. And even with all of that, this is still challenging. And so this is a time that can be challenging for all of us. But I'm thinking especially right now of those of you like me who are single, and we are living alone during this time. And so it's challenging for all of us, but it might pose a little bit different challenges for some people that are really isolated. And so I just wanted to share some tips with you today. And so hopefully this is helpful for everybody. But if you have someone in your life who is single, who lives alone, please make sure you pass this along and share it with them if you think it would be helpful for them. My colleague and I, Professor Marty, have a podcast called Five to Thrive. And each week we provide parents and educators with 5 tips to help young people in their lives thrive. And of course, as we do this, it helps adults thrive as well. So we have lots of tips there. We have lots of podcasts that we've recorded on managing our mind and emotions and our thoughts. You can find all of that on 5tothrive.net. It's the number 5, so numeral 5, and then spelled out to thrive.net. So 5, number 5, TOTHRIVE.net. Okay, 5tothrive.net. So you can find lots of tips and strategies there. But I thought since I had this time, I'd develop a video, especially aimed at those of us who are single. So connection during isolation is so very important. As human beings, we literally survive by being a part of a group. And there's study after study after study that talks about the benefits of being connected and the challenges of being and feeling isolated. So how do we stay connected during times of isolation and potentially significant loneliness? So I've got 5 tips for you today, 5 to thrive. So I've got 5 things I'd like to share. Number 1, it's really helpful to set a routine and then to stick to it. Wake up, have some devotional time to feed your spirit, exercise, cook meals, have time set aside during the day to do the things that are important to you. Take a shower every day or most days and get dressed is a biggie. It's okay to have a pajama day once in a while, but it is not maybe beneficial to have a pajama day every day. So set that routine, get up, shower, get dressed, do the things that are important to you. I personally put on perfume every day. There's no one here to smell it, but I enjoy it. I like my perfume. And so I put that on every day. Make a to-do list for the items you want to complete today, whether that includes working from home like me. You know, I'm going to be talking to my students later on today. I'm going to be participating in Zoom meetings. I'm going to be working on projects. But do I want to read a chapter in a book today? Do I want to go for a walk? Do I want to clean out a closet? I've bought paint before all this happened, and I'm going to be, if I'm here too long, I'm going to start doing some painting, all the trim in my condo. Have some to-do lists. Your brain likes to have things to think about and to ponder. Speaking about the brain, tip number 2, we need to intentionally manage our thoughts. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a really big one. Without thoughts, you can't have fear. Without thoughts, you can't have love. Without thoughts, you can't have loneliness. They all begin with a thought. Here's a way to help us understand this point. I just saw this on the news the other day and thought this is a perfect example of how this works. Remember hearing about the college kids down in Florida on spring break? And they were partying and having a good time, and they weren't nervous or anxious or upset about anything really. And other people were really upset that they were doing that. Think about it this way. They were down there thinking, I'm young, I'm invincible. What can happen? I'm supposed to be having a good time. I'm not going to see my grandparents for a few weeks. What's the big deal? Let's have fun. Let's party. This is our time, right? That's what they were thinking. And so it led to thoughts of let's have fun and party. Other people are watching this thinking, what are they thinking? What are they doing? They are going to spread this illness. They're going to hop on a plane. They're going to take it back to wherever they came from. They're going to expose somebody who has a compromised immune system. This is really, really reckless. And people became angry and upset with them. The exact same circumstance was happening. There was this virus that we don't know a lot about. One group of people was thinking, no big deal. Another group of people were thinking, very big deal. And the emotions that followed were very, very different. The same experience can happen, the same circumstance can happen, and how people think about it determines how they feel. And how they feel triggers or their motivation to act. And so if people aren't happy with how they're acting, or if people aren't happy with how they're feeling, the root of it all is a thought. Our thoughts lead to our emotions, which trigger our actions. It's like a chain of events, and it's just how God designed us. We can't change it. It's how it works. And so if you're not happy with how you're feeling, we have to think about how we're thinking. And this is why we have to be vigilant about this, because right now during this time, we're exposing our brains to lots of news, whether it's news on the television, on cable, whether it's social media feeds. The brain is designed to be on alert for danger. Our stress response is what keeps us alive. We are constantly scanning to see if there is something in our environment that could be dangerous. That's how we're designed. When we sense danger, our body naturally goes into a stress response. This is good. This is how it's how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to feel stress, and we're supposed to react so that we can stay alive when our life is in danger. But here's where it gets tricky. The job of the news media is to startle us. They survive by having good ratings. The more sensational they can make a story, the more people tune in. That's their job. They're not evil. They're just doing what they're paid to do. That's their job, to get our attention. But as we tune into the news 24/7, as we're constantly seeing alarming posts, our system stays in a stress response. And this is very, very unhealthy for us. An event may happen one time, but if we watch it on the news 10 times, we feel stress 10 times over an event that happened once. And that really isn't even life-threatening. We're sitting in the comfort of our home, watching something on the television, fearing for our life 10 times. Over and over, day after day. Very, very unhealthy. Your body stays in a constant state of stress, which actually physically hurts your DNA. All right? So we need to be aware of this. I enjoy watching the news. I have to really monitor myself. I could pretty easily be a news junkie. But I'm going to encourage you, and I challenge myself the same, to limit our time watching the news. I try to listen to the headlines a few times a day, learn what I need to know. I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to stick my head in the sand. I want to know what's going on, but I don't want to dwell on it all day, every day. I need to let it go. It's very easy for your brain to get addicted to high-risk things. The news right now feels really high risk. If you don't limit your access to news, you're basically allowing companies who get paid to startle you, you're basically allowing them to have control of your brain. So please consider limiting your news feed. And I would also suggest for every half hour that you spend watching scary and startling news, spend at least that much time feeding your brain with something good. Nourish your brain. Do a daily devotion. Listen to a podcast where you gain some new insights. Practice your critical thinking. Try reading a new book. Philippians 4 tells us whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And then it goes on to say, and the God of peace will be with you. You want to have peace in your spirit? You want to feel peaceful? Think about whatever's true, noble, pure, lovely, admirable. Spend time thinking about those things as much as you spend time thinking about the news. 2 Corinthians tells us, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. We have control over our thoughts. We can take our thoughts captive and determine what we want to think. We have that possibility. Okay, and this leads me to my third tip. We need to spend time nourishing our spirit and nurturing our faith during this time. What's the saying? Faith overcomes fear, right? If you have a dark room and you light a match, the light chases the dark away. It doesn't stay dark if you expose light to that room, right? One little match can light up a room. So during this time that we're nurturing our faith, the thing that we trust in, gratitude is so very, very important. Everybody longs to feel joy. Galatians 5 tells us that if we want to feel joy, we stay connected to the Word. And as you stay connected to the Word, the Holy Spirit works through you. And the byproduct of that, the fruit of faith, as they say in Galatians 5, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Isn't that what we're longing for? Isn't that what everybody in society is really after? And searching for it in all kinds of ways where they're not necessarily finding it? Right? Think of that. Isn't that what we want our families to be? Isn't that what we want our schools to be? Our communities, our jobs? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. as we stay connected to the word, that's the stuff that happens. And again, just gratitude is so very, very important. As I said, everybody longs to feel joy, and research tells us it's not joy that makes us grateful. It's gratitude that makes us joyful. So as we're grateful for things, we will experience more joy in our life. So the fact that I can talk to you today brings me joy. I'm grateful for that. The fact that I'm going to be able to connect with my students, the fact that I can go to the faucet and turn on clean running water to drink, and there are people around the world that don't have that advantage, I'm very thankful for that. It can be the little things. It doesn't have to be the big things. We're coming off a winter here in Wisconsin, and I forget how much I enjoy the birds singing and chirping in the morning. And I go for my walk now in the spring and I hear the birds, and I'm just filled with this sense of thankfulness and joy. I love those little birds, right? And so all those little things, the fact that, you know, I could get up and walk across the room this morning. There are people, someone right now is praying for something I may be taking for granted. So how do I find joy in all of those little things? And as I have that sense of gratitude and thankfulness, my joy will increase. It's just how it works. Tip number 4. I'm going to encourage you to do something novel, learn something new. Our brain likes to be busy. It doesn't like to sit around and just fret all the time. I mean, it likes to sit around and fret, but that's not good for it. So we need to expose it to new and novel things. So this is a great time to learn something new. Did you know that you can order a harmonica online for $5 and it'll be delivered to your door along with a book on how to play it? $5. It might drive the people, if you're not living alone, it might drive the people around you crazy, but you could do that. You could download a keypad on your iPad or on your phone and learn the basics of reading music. Remember that guitar you bought years ago? You maybe took a lesson, you maybe didn't, it's sitting around. Great time to pick it up and learn how to play it. You can learn how to play just about any instrument on YouTube. You can learn a foreign language on YouTube. You can take art lessons on YouTube. You can learn how to sketch from like different perspectives. All of that is available free online if you have access to the internet. I think I mentioned learning a new language. I'm going to encourage you, escape in a book during this time. I love the quote, reading gives us somewhere to go when we need to stay right where we are. Think about that. Has there ever been a time when that has been more real? Reading gives us somewhere to go when we need to stay right where we are. You can ride on a riverboat down a river in China or the Mississippi. You can go on safari. You can go back in time. You can go forward in time. You can learn a new skill. It's all right there at your fingertips, absolutely free. Now I have a pile of about, I think I counted the other day, 11 books in my stack. I like a hard copy book. I have about 11 of them in my to-read list. So I got plenty of reading to keep me busy. But if I didn't have those books there, you know, go online, explore. You can sign into your local library and it just opens up thousands and thousands and thousands of books right at your fingertips to read. So reading gives us somewhere to go when we need to stay right where we are. Play games with people online. A friend of mine the other day sent me an invitation to the app called House Party, and we were playing a game on there and laughing. It was hysterical. So know that apps like that exist where you can connect with other people and play games online. FaceTime, see people's face, talk to them in real time. Contact your aunt who you haven't talked to in a long time. Connect with people. Do chores around the house. Clean out that closet. This is a great time for spring cleaning. Have you guys seen the show Tidying Up? It's a fun show. She encourages us when we are cleaning out a closet or a drawer or a cupboard that we pull absolutely everything out of it, completely empty it out, and then be very intentional about what we put back in. Only put the things back in that bring you a sense of joy and that have a purpose, that have a value to you. Otherwise, get rid of them. Give them to somebody else so that they can experience that joy and value from them, right? As I was thinking about this, I thought, this is what journaling does. With our mind, we get our mind really cluttered with thoughts that aren't necessarily serving us well at all. Through journaling, we can write down all of those thoughts that aren't serving us well. And then we can very intentionally, remember, take every thought captive and make it obedient. We have control over our thoughts. Only load the thoughts back into your brain, whatever is pure, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is praiseworthy. Those things that are helpful and beneficial. So journaling unloads all the dirty stuff we're not using, the toxic thoughts, get all that out of your brain, and then intentionally load it up, develop new neural pathways that are filled with things that are noteworthy, praiseworthy, joyful. We can do that. So this is a great time to do spring cleaning on our brains as well. And then tip number 5, I'm sorry, I'm getting to the end here. I'm a little long-winded today, apologize. Try to eat healthy and keep moving, get some exercise during this time. It is so easy without even thinking about it right now. When we are bored or possibly lonely, to just keep eating, to keep drinking. Alcohol sales are through the roof. We need to do our best to put healthy food into our body, especially during times of stress, and to keep moving, just for health reasons. I'm so grateful for my dog for this. I have a 16-year-old beagle named Kipper, and if you listen closely, you might hear her snoring right now. She sleeps a lot these days. But we walk every day too. I added up, Kipper and I have walked over 10,000 miles together. And I live right on the shore of Lake Michigan, and so we walk every day. And I think it's my favorite thing I do. I think my favorite thing in life is to walk my dog along the lakefront. And it's just as much for my mental health as it is for my physical health. Now, you may not have a dog, but just try to get out and walk every day. The gym here at my condo is closed. The gym at the school is closed. The gym down the street is closed. You know, gyms are all closed right now, but I'm a big fan of a yoga with Adriene. It's free. It's on YouTube. I can do yoga on a regular basis, absolutely free. I can do high intensity training. I can go for a walk. Try to keep eating healthy. Feed my soul with good things, feed my body with good things, keep moving. This is a time to really do this. We can try to really maximize this time. I'm going to encourage you, cook a nice meal and set the table setting. Put down a plate and napkin and silverware, pour yourself a glass of wine, put on some nice music, and enjoy a really nice meal by yourself. I have learned that the only time I am lonely is when I'm not enjoying my own company. And so what can you do? How are ways that you can do the little things that, put on the perfume during the day, break out the nice wine glass for dinner, make your bed every day, get dressed, even though nobody's going to see it. Just do it for you, just like you're going to eat healthy and keep moving for you. So my 5 tips to help you thrive, and I'm just going to run through them again here real quick. Set a routine and try to stick to it. Manage your thoughts, limit the bad news that you're exposing to your system, nourish your spirit, learn something new, try to eat healthy and keep moving during this time. I hope this has been helpful for you. Whether you live alone or whether you're sharing your broadband with 5 other people and you're fighting over space in the house. I think maybe we should have Professor Marty do a show on that side of life, because that's what he's experiencing right now. But again, if you know someone who is single, this is specifically, I hope this is helpful to everybody, but specifically I want to reach out to those people who are living alone and may really be feeling a strong sense of isolation right now. Please share this with them. To learn more about managing your thoughts, your emotions, helping our young people thrive, please tune into 5 to Thrive. Again, that's the number 5, TOTHRIVE.net. In the meantime, I'm very grateful for you, and I wish you the Lord's richest blessings. Bye-bye.